Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors. My name is Cody Johnson, and I'll be your host.
I'm one happy hunter right now, man. Alright, guys. Here she is.
Here at the Thin Blue Line Outdoors, we have 3 goals. Show you a good time.
I just shot him.
Teach you something. Planting some clover down. And lead by example.
It's looking good. Great though. Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
If I can accomplish one of those 3, that's a win in my book. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there.
Hopefully we don't run out of battery. Alrighty, this is the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast, episode 16. So I'm here with Jared and Austin today. They're going to be going on the elk hunt with me here in September. I know we had Kyle Orrig on the last podcast. It did good numbers, so I appreciate all the support, guys. So anyway, Austin and Jared and I just got back from about a 3-mile hike. Is that what it ended up being, I think?
Yeah, I think about
So
3.5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my watch. Yeah, I was running the Garmin, so yeah.
So
Forgot pace about 20 minutes a mile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just easy pace. So
I forgot my boots too.
Mm-hmm. It was a rocky start,
boat, so.
and we got rained on. Every time I've tried to hike with Austin, it rains on us. So, but other than that, I'm gonna let them kind of take it from here and give an introduction to themselves on how they got started hunting and so forth and so on. So, whoever wants to go first.
You know, I
You want
probably
to talk? You want to talk right in the mic, Jared?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can move the mic.
That better.
Yep.
Yeah, I started young age with my dad, Austin's grandpa. Bits and pieces. I never really got into it. You know, for all these years, I went because I liked my dad. Mm-hmm. You know, deer hunting, fishing. I caught on with dove hunting and duck hunting, usually in my high school days. Then I left town, you know, for a while, and hunting was not part of my life, you know, at all, you know, for several years up until, you know, about the last decade. I felt like it was something that I needed to do, you know, so I always wanted to get out there and go deer hunting, but you never could really, you know, get off my ass and go, you know, and probably about 3 years ago, I finally got into it, got some property to hunt on, and got some property to hunt on, and set up a stand. And last year got my first doe, and I love it. We're still going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your turn, Austin.
All right.
So,
Kind of been a whole life experience. I never really stopped. Got in to hunting at an early age. Part of the bow hunting that I've gotten into is simply because of Cody.
Yeah, we've been hunting together. Oh man, 6th grade, 5th grade? We're younger than that.
Earlier. Than
Yeah,
that. I mean,
long time.
Grade school.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. Was exposed to the waterfowl hunting, as your typical Central Illinois waterfowl hunter, ducks, geese. Started off hunting strip mine lakes with family, dad and stepdad, grandpa, uncles, and kind of just went forward from there. Pretty fortunate when we were in grade school and middle school, Cody's family had a farm located just right outside of Canton. So we had the opportunities to go. They kind of gave us free reins of it.
We've lost and flung a lot of arrows in those woods.
Probably still some arrows sticking in the roof of the house. So we were fortunate enough to have the opportunities to do that. But just kind of grew from there, continued. And a lot of people are wanting to get into it, and we've never been out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just like anything, it kind of wax and weans.
Mm-hmm.
We've had our hot and heavy moments where we've been more dedicated at times in our lives than then other points to where we're not going as much,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you feel guilty
Mhm.
not going.
Like
So-
where you know what was I doing at that time in my life?
Exactly.
When I should have been hunting.
I mean, and of course, Cody and I are still younger. We just got established with both of our careers with our full-time job. Cody's a full-time police officer. I'm a full-time paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared, he's a PA,
Yeah.
working in the
Yeah.
clinic and the ER. So we're all involved in some sort of public service, and it does take a great deal of your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when we do find that time, I think now after we've been established with our career, we see those opportunities and we try to capitalize on the time we do have.
Yeah, and that's correct. You know, like now when you start to get around my age, you know, and I've been a practicing physician assistant for 13 years now, 13 plus years, and the last decade has been mainly I've been like I get a singular focus, you know. So I started with trail running, you know, and getting into ultra marathons and all that. So it's an outdoor activity. It's an intense activity that takes a lot of dedication and time, you know, hours and hours and hours of training. Now it's kind of like to where, you know, I don't have the time with the kids and everything to get out to the trails and everything. The body's not doing things like I want it to, like it's in the past. Like I'm not recovering as well, you know. So now some more of my shift is kind of focusing into the hunting realm over these last 3 years, and so I'm very excited about this this you know hunt in Colorado. For multiple reasons, you know, going out there and the possibility of you know succeeding. But I've like the last year or so, I've been a lot of like the literature that I've been reading has been mainly all out west, and there's something about it like I can't wait to step foot. If that means like fiction, I started with like reading Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. Highly recommend that book.
Check it out.
Yeah, if you know No Country for Old Men, it's the same author. He's actually more famous for this book. And then Blood Meridian, and then I read some books, Empire of the Summer Moon, about the Comanches, and they've actually ranged out of Colorado.
I need to read that. I think Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast. That's what I
Blood
listened.
and Thunder about Kit Carson and the Navajo. All just sucking it in, you know, and it just makes it all the better.
Yep.
Going out there.
And it's, in my opinion, I think it's pretty awesome that all of us here have been geared towards this Western hunt.
Yeah, well, and kind of to talk about that. So, number one, as Austin said, we're all either in the medical field or first responder, and you know, I think that's one thing why we like hunting is we want to get away from it every now and then. You know, it's just even if it's here in Illinois in Fulton County, it's nice to just go sit in a tree stand and get away from everybody for a while and kind of relax, reset your mind. But the way this elk hunt came up, so I went elk hunting last year, as most people probably know if you follow along. And anyway, ended up not having luck. And my dad and we had a great time. It was a fun hunt, but it was a different type of hunt. I know my dad's getting up there in age, kind of limited on what all he can do, and he was putting off surgery to do the hunt. So he's got some of those surgeries now, so I think next time we go, he'll be able to push it a little bit more. But anyway, we had a great time. Never had an opportunity on an elk, had an opportunity on a bear, should have happened. But anyway, lit a fire under my butt after that hunt, and I was talking to Austin about it because Austin had recently got back into archery hunting, and he's like, "Yeah, we need to do this." And I remember, and I'm like, "Yeah, I had one other guy in mind. He ended up not able to come, but Austin's like, well, I got my uncle. I'm sure he'll come." And then sure enough, they're like, "Yep, I'm in." and then we talked about how Kyle got involved last time, but yeah, we've been planning this
Over a year.
Yeah,
Advance.
pretty close.
Pretty close to a year.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think.
right when probably a month after you got back from the last one.
Yeah, it was October. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
almost like I need 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we started planning this in October, and we were kind of focused on deer at first, but we kept talking about it and watching, sending each other, I think, pictures on Instagram and stuff with some of the bulls that were killed. But yeah, we've been game planning about this ever since, and I know we're all excited about it. What's interesting, and Kyle and I talked about this on the last podcast, we are all kind of preparing a little differently. So if you guys want to kind of talk about what you're doing to prepare for this hunt, both on the shooting side, hunting side, hunting side and physical side.
I think what my big weak spot is experience, and being out in the field as much as you two. I don't know much about what Kyle's background is.
He's shotgun deer hunted his whole life, but this is new archery for him. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of background, over the last couple of years, bow hunting, deer. My main strengths are basically endurance, based on the ultra running over the last few years. So I have kind of transitioned that training into a lot of rucking. I have a pasture at home that I go back and forth, about a mile loop of up and downs. I'm hitting that pretty hard, usually about once a week, that time will allow. And also hitting the gym, consistently, and archery. And lots of reading. Got the Corey Jacobson's Elk 101 modules. Just learning the basics and reading Cameron Haynes' book. Kind of sidebar. That's kind of also what kind of got me into the backcountry hunting, is listening to him on Rogan, being that he was a big time ultra runner. And I kind of like, well, Cam can do it. Maybe I can do it. Knowing that there's a lot more to it than just that, of course. So.
Yeah, I mean, when you listen, especially the last couple names you mentioned, Haynes, Dudley, Rogan, you got Born and Raised outdoors, all them guys. You're watching, you're following them all, and you're like, I mean, we're at the point right now where we can physically do it. Let's do it. So that's been my main thing over the last, 10 months, is the training. I've always I've waxed and weaned on lifting. COVID really killed it. As y'all know, we're in the medical field. First responders. We got hit hard with COVID around here. And you can have your opinion on however you want it, but from a medical standpoint, it was stressful. I mean, it messed with you not only from the sheer hours that you worked, but mentally. It really got you. So it was kind of relief when all these restrictions opened back up. The gyms opened back up, and it's kind of like, hey, we're going to get on it now. And that's kind of when we were talking about the opportunity to go elk hunting. It all kind of just landed perfectly together, and that was almost a motivating factor on getting into the gym. So for 10 straight months, it started. How I started training was I just started hitting the weights to get my muscle mass back up. I was right at the end of the heart of COVID, which was that? How long ago was that? A year and a half ago now?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I went into the gym back. I lift at Graham Wellness Center. My wife's a nurse at Graham, along with Cody's wife. So went in there. I went from 170 pounds up to almost 195 pounds. So I had that going for me, and then kind of started listening to Dudley, Cameron Haynes, all these fitness hunters, and then I started hammering the miles. I started with 1 mile, and I wasn't even making it 1 mile. I was walking a quarter mile and maybe running 3 miles. Yeah, and it's kind of cool how you track your progress and you actually look back and see it. But over time, it was 2 miles, and then it'd be like a couple more weeks, and then it'd be 3 miles, and now my schedule is, I'm pretty fortunate. I only work 2 days a week. I work 24-hour shifts. So I have my rest days at work, but when I come home every morning, it's go to the gym for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then run
Mm-hmm.
up to 8-10 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
Some days, if depending on what's going on, like you guys wanted to hike today,
Mhm.
you just what did we hike this morning? Three.
About three.
Yeah, a little over 3.
Yeah.
Which honestly, all 3 of us handled it fine.
Oh yeah,
Like, nobody
I
was.
was we were hoping to go farther, but the
Mhm.
weather.
Yeah. Austin's bad luck when it comes to weather.
Right. So, like today's a special. Today was a different day. So we hiked, and then this evening, I mean, it's crappy weather outside, so I'll probably go to the gym and get on the treadmill for another 6 to 8, 9 miles, and then lift on top of that. And out of everything, I mean, we all have experiences in our different strong suits. I mean, elk hunting, this is a first time for me.
I've been, trying to come up with different like film ideas since I'm recording it. And I'm thinking I'm about to call this the rookies.
The rookie.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm more the noob. I'm the noob, in all aspects. And the one thing I've learned while doing this is there's just a mountain of shit you don't know.
Literally,
And literally, you get there and then you learn something and you're like, oh, you realize like there's like a whole coastline of knowledge that you have to and sometimes that's only experience will fill that. But
it's even something.
you can be doing shit all year long getting ready for an elk hunt.
Well, it's even something as simple as like you're watching a video and you're like, oh, I want the sleeping pad for comfort. And it's like, no, it's not for comfort. It's to keep your body
dumb
off
shit
the ground
like that,
and stay
like,
warm.
like
we're new to the whole camping game.
trying my best not to wear the dunce cap. They might come out. I'll wear it like 90% of the time. So
and it's
I'm
not
fine with that.
Yeah, and it's just not the topic of. We're basically throwing two heavily involved topics into one: elk hunting plus camping.
Yeah, the backcountry camping.
Backcountry camping.
So it's like plus fitness. So we're looking at it, trying to blend all this stuff in. And
And my favorite is the people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna go out and hike and camp and like, and like we're not just camping. You know?
Yep.
We're gonna be living it. We're gonna be immersed.
I don't think I can say it enough. Last year was definitely the hardest hunt I've ever done. And we could have pushed it more physically, but it was still, we got to find the animals. Hunting pressure, the amount of people we saw. You read about it, you listen to forums, like, man, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people. You're like, is it though? And there was. So we're gonna have to get away from people. And then, and then you got to throw in the backcountry camping and all that. And I'm excited for it, man. The closer it gets, we're under 30 days. The closer it gets, the more I'm, pumped for it, excited. And I really think we can get an opportunity. I know everybody says it's, good luck, it's going to be hard. And I agree, but I just really think we're all dumb enough that we're going to just keep pushing. And we're going to make mistakes, no doubt about it. But I really think we can get an opportunity.
Is it dumb, to push ourselves, or was it just the knowledge to know that you can actually go further than there's the imaginary walls your brain creates for yourself? Like, but all this is what I've learned through the trail running and Joe, shout out to Joe Decker, and Gut Check Fitness and Ultimate Suck and everything. You can go beyond that. You're gonna suffer. But I'm fine with that. And ever since that we got this set up last year, I don't think there's been like a millisecond of maybe I shouldn't go. Not one.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're doing this, and no matter what it takes, it's going to happen. We'll be fine.
I think, and like what you mentioned here a minute ago, I think the biggest thing is going to be mental. And we talked about this on our hike here a minute ago that we just had. We're walking up this half a mile portion of our hike, and it was a straight up windy hill. And it brought up the topic of if one of us blows an opportunity, if one of us gets down. I mean, I think we all got the past experience from personal life that we're gonna be able to push through it. I mean, that's kind of how we're wired. I mean, to deal with stressful situations,
Yeah, and then if somebody kills one, no matter who it is, we're all gonna be so jacked up and excited. It's going to be awesome.
Indeed, and then it's going to make packing it out. I mean, granted, it will. Your legs will think it sucks, but in your brain, you won't think it sucks. So I'm happy.
I'm looking forward to it. Like everybody says that pack out is the worst but the best thing. And that who's done it, and I want to experience it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to experience that. So it should be fun. So I know Kyle and I talked about last time kind of some of the gear we're bringing. If you guys want to kind of break down on like your bow you're bringing, maybe your tent, your pack you're going to use, stuff like that. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah. So I got a standard Alps frame pack that I'm going to be carrying. Pack full of the essentials. Mountain House is what I'm going to be eating. These guys are going to peak refuel, right?
What for food wise? What's your plan? Like you gonna have a Mountain House like for lunch and dinner? Or are you just gonna have one for dinner?
No, I plan on. I'm a heavy. I mean, I eat a lot anyways.
What do you? What calorie wise you plan on to?
Probably calorie wise, I'm hoping to push around. So right now, I've been adjusting over the last 6 months. I've actually gone on a huge diet. So I've been doing like a 200 gram protein, grams of protein, and 2,400 calories per day. So it's a pretty stringent diet. Salads, and so it's probably going to be like I'm going to be in hog heaven eating these Mountain Houses. I mean, they're probably going to be they're just going to be like dessert. No, but I plan on. I mean, with the walking we're going to be doing, because my thing is I think we're going to be boots on the ground. And chasing these things. I'm hoping to stay upwards of 3,000 calories a day.
Same. That's what I'm gearing for, 3,000.
I mean, I don't really count calories too much. I just try to eat when I can, and I got some peak refuel. I bought a big old pack, and maybe I'm gonna probably pack some trail mix and everything just to kind of keep me loaded up throughout the day, hydrating, and then maybe do about 2 peak refuels per day. And then when we come back to base camp, just hammer out some meals, put on some calories, and then when we go back out for round 2, see what happens and see how I feel. I may have to eat more, maybe eat less.
Yeah, next morning, if we wake up the next morning and feel horrible, we may need to pack on some more calories.
Bringing out of a Hoyt, I think, what is it? Carbon, yeah. What carbon?
Defiant, or do you got the Spider?
He's got Defiant.
Defiant. That's what. That's I got the Defiant.
70-pound pole, and then we'll probably bring that down a little bit for deer hunting. And Under Armour gear. What do we got? Black Rifle instant coffee.
We gotta have our coffee.
The fake jet boil from Amazon. So we'll see how that goes. Tent wise, I'll have to get back on you on what tent I got. I got it from the Elk 101 store. I'm using a Stone
If you're getting it from them, that's gonna be good.
That's a part of the draw to that was it's he's not gonna sell you lame shit. So what do I got? Stone Glacier pack that one of my friends mailed to me from Chicago to use. He is a big bear hunter. Used it in Alaska bear hunting, and he's happy for us. He doesn't know us, but he's happy for us anyway. Shout out to John Semino. So he mailed it from Chicago to use for this elk trip, and I'm gonna test it out. And if I already like it, training with it, so it may be my big purchase for next year.
I think Stone Glacier is what the meat eater guys I think use.
Yeah, I saw him on the meat on Ranella, walking around with it on the meat eater show. So definitely.
Yeah. So other than food, talking about like actual gear, tried on both of them. I just went to Bass Pro Shop because they have huge selection. I ended up going with the Cabela's brand.
With that Western camo, right?
No, I actually got it's like the Kenai or
yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's like more of an all-purpose camo.
Yeah, I got
like,
something of it.
Yeah, because we talked. It's like, is this going to be like thick brush or is it going to be like a desert? And so figured I'd just get something to stick around here also.
Yeah, I went with like the early season forest you know, look from Under Armour. I got that at Bass Pro, and you know, it's, you know, once I tested it out, I'm like, okay, now I can't not buy this. You know, I'm like, shit. I'm like, now they got me.
Yep,
You
that's
know?
how they get you.
That's how they get you. So I went for that setup. Food wise, and like, what have you brought out there in the past? Like, besides your freeze dried stuff.
So every time when I went out there last year with my dad, we also had a base camp. We had a cabin, so we brought like I smoked a pork loin before we went there.
That'll get
so
the calories up.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then we froze it, and then and it was already cooked. So we just then made sandwiches and stuff. That was nice. We did have some freeze dried, but yeah, we had a grill even at the camp, so it's pretty easy for us there. But my plan on food is I'll have a gallon bag. 4 or 5, depending on how many days we plan on out there, of gallon bag of food. So, and it'll be around 3,000 calories. Well, besides the peak refuel, so minus whatever that is, but there'll be around 3,000 calories I plan on for a day. I'm only gonna have one peak refuel every night. Doing in my night with a peak refuel. I'm going to be making my own like cereal. I actually got this from not Remy Warren. No, I got it from Kufaru Cass, Aaron Snyder, and Frank. I can't think of Frank's last name. But anyway, I got it from them. You make your own cereal, get oats, whatever you want from the store, and you actually put vanilla protein powder in it for the milk. You just add water. You have cereal. So I'm gonna just put it in a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably also bring some oatmeal if I want something hot for the morning for breakfast. But other than that, La Trail mixes. I'm bringing those Honey Zinger waffle things. I have a whole bunch of electrolyte mixes. I will bring Skittles, what I have discovered when I'm out there in the backcountry and I want some just sugar stuff. Skittles. That's like my go-to.
Glucose.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll get that from Jolly Ranchers and stuff like that too.
It's like, whatever reason, Skittles has always been my go-to, and that's like I crave it.
If you ever go to like an ultra marathon, like you would think that it's like super healthy and everything, which is no. You go to the stand, like the aid stations. It's like M&Ms, Jolly Ranchers, just trash that you normally wouldn't eat, but you want that immediate like sugar.
And then what I brought last time on the last elk hunt, and I really liked it, and I was like always craving it. I didn't bring enough of it. I'm bringing more this time. Dried fruit.
Okay, yeah.
I just like for some reason like mangoes. I really like dried mangoes. Eat banana chips.
Dehydrator.
I do have a dehydrator. Last time I just bought dried mangoes. I don't know. I'll probably just because of time. I'll probably just do the same thing. I probably won't dehydrate it myself.
Exactly.
But then I brought some like peanuts, stuff like that too. Get some fats, almonds, stuff like that. But I'll probably bring a lot more dry fruit this time because I just couldn't eat enough of it last time. I don't know what it was.
We're humping around in the mountains. Like you probably, I'm gonna feel like I'm hungry all the time. You know.
Yeah.
In my.
And I try to avoid chocolate just because you don't know what the weather is going to be. So, it's hot or cold.
Yeah, they'll turn to goo.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, though, like a lot of it also, we're going to be on the move.
Mm-hmm.
When I sit still, that's like when I want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to balance that out with even when I'm working at home, working around the yard mowing, doing that fun stuff. I'll forget to eat.
Yeah, as long as I'm busy.
Yeah. So,
but as soon as I sit down, I'm like, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm going to bring a lot. I think I'm going to bring a whole case of Quest or MedRx protein bars.
I like the RX bars.
Yeah, they're so good.
I'll probably buy a case of those.
It's my dessert.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'll bring. Like I said, I'm gonna plan around 3,000 calories. I'll have one dehydrated meal a day, and I'll probably save it for my big meal every night. I got a couple mountain houses I'm gonna bring, but the peak refuel is what I plan on.
Yeah, I plan on doing like their breakfast skillet and then probably their chicken Alfredo or chicken and rice for dinner.
Kind of my plan there, and then of course coffee I talked about last time too, but I'll probably have some instant. The Black Rifle Instant by far is the best that I've tried. I've tried a lot of other brands. Black Rifle Instant, when it comes to instant coffee, is the best.
Yeah.
I will be bringing some pre-grind Black Rifle coffee as well, because I have a little French press. I figure the French press, we're not in a hurry, and like maybe it's middle of the day and the elk aren't moving, like I'm like, okay, well guys, we're gonna have a proper cup of coffee.
Absolutely, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Uh-huh.
Also, adding into that, I'm bringing some Jocko Discipline Go, daily. That is, I work in the emergency room, and that stuff is a lifesaver for my brain, and it's a lot of the audience can look it up, but the rundown is it's mainly a lot of B12 and B complex and caffeine. It saves me actually from having to have that second cup of coffee in the middle of the day if I do a cup of coffee in the morning and then hit like a Jocko Go mid-morning, and then I'm good probably for the rest of the day. So I'll be bringing plenty of that to sustain me. Bring some backups as well.
You ever take Alpha Burn from On It?
I've thought about it.
It's good. I like it.
I've thought about it.
It's a little different though. It's a little
I would
ingredients.
probably, if I had some, just to do like a head-to-head with Jocko Go. I just haven't been able to peel myself off of that over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, Jocko Go's good.
I started with the powder, and then it gets messy, and if it gets if it gets too much moisture in it, it just gets hard as a rock. So I've just switched over to the pill and haven't been back.
I'm over here like, what are you guys talking about?
Jocko's good. Jocko Go's good.
Yeah.
You ever drink? You ever get the cans, the pre-made stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I started with.
Gotcha. I like the tea one. It's like Arnold Palmer tea kind of. It's good.
Okay.
Besides whey protein and a little bit of creatine, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
It's probably for the best. Like I said, I like the Jocko Go stuff though. It's good, and it doesn't get you stupid like you're real jittery and stuff like some pre-workouts do. Jocko Go doesn't do it.
Zero jittery. I sleep perfectly fine. It wears off. So there is a point in the afternoon, like if I'm in the middle of an ER shift, like do I need to take another one? And it hasn't happened yet, which is good.
Oh, I know. I do just thought of something I want to talk to you guys about. So on all my hunts, for the most part, being the police officer, a lot of times I'm the guy with the most medical experience, which is very, very limited. Very, very limited.
That's scary.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I will say, luckily, shout out to Tom Riley if you listen to this. On my bear hunt last time, I cut myself pretty good. I got a scar on my hand to prove it when I was skinning my bear, and luckily he was a Army medic, so he took care of me, and probably should have got stitches, but we super glue. It was fine. But anyway, as my medical experts here, you guys know, like I bring a very small first aid kit, very minimal, but I know you guys kind of go over and beyond in a good way.
Well,
you guys want to talk about this?
Austin will be he's going to be our medic, and I'll be the
surgeon.
I'll be the battalion surgeon. So I'll do that. So I'm going to bring I'll bring a suturing kit, and I'll bring the glue. And Austin, can you get a hold of some Quick Clot?
Yeah, I already have some from my.
God, I hope we don't need that.
We got
tourniquets.
We got
tourniquets.
Yeah. My tack vest has a lot of it. I mean, we got Quick Clot. What else do we got? Tourniquets. Israeli bandages. We got all that good stuff.
I'll bring and I'll bring some sterile water. That we can do a washout with if we have a wound. I think part of the key with some of these lacerations, deep wounds, clean the hell out of that shit. I mean, you got to, you really got to really do a good washout, and we've seen, some of these wound infections come in like there'll be a beautiful repair on an outpatient, but then they'll come into the ER with it just like ready to explode with infection. We have to pop open that, and it's an ugly sight.
And I think a big thing is when it comes to medicine, it's not always necessarily treating right now. It's knowing what's going to happen here in the next couple days.
It's like sailing. It's like going for an ocean voyage. I mean, where you got to prepare for time down the road. Like, what is this wound going to look like in a week or two? You don't want to get back to Illinois and then have to go to the ER and go to in some cases go to OR. Where they have to do a complete debridement and washout.
If you got an
operating
osteo or
room,
something,
we could have washed you out doing a proper washout job in the field. And
Yeah, funny.
I'm not saying it's the ideal thing to do in the field, but it's a good start.
Well,
you know?
I'm hoping you guys won't have to work while we're out there.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Uh-huh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I might, you know that saying.
The
I
ounce
might-
of preparation.
I might that saying. I might keep that Michelob Ultra in my bag, and if something happens, I might pop a top, and I'm off duty.
Yeah. So that's what when we were patching up my hand in bear camps. My wife, I get home, she's checking it out and stuff. She goes, "Oh, it doesn't look infected. You guys clean it out?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that."
Do a good washout. I'll bring some. So in the case, like say,
Well, I'll have some alcohol in a flask, man.
one of us. So if one of us has like a finger injury or something, and I have to pop you back in place or something like that, you probably want me to block that finger, so I'll bring some probably bring some digital block, so we can numb up your finger, and then we can pop your finger back in place and then splint you. Okay, and if it looks good and you got good range of motion, we can just splint you and then go about our business.
Keep going.
It's not like something you have to go see the orthopedic surgeon for in the 24 hours. Maybe later, but
Yeah, we're there to hunt, man.
yeah, we're there to
finish our
man.
hunt.
We can't just because your pinky's going 90 degrees the other direction.
I mean, and
we're not leaving.
And I mean, like, besides the trauma, I know, of course, there's like things we can't predict, like appendicitis and all that.
Yeah.
But,
Let's not
I
talk
mean,
about that.
Yeah, and I mean,
let's
and-
hopefully.
or like the gallbladder and stuff like that from eating all them.
Oh, that mountain house.
But for the most part, like looking at the big picture, I mean, being comparable, I mean, we're all in good shape.
Alrighty, we're back. How I said, I hope we didn't run out of battery. Well, we did. So anyway, take it away, Austin.
Mountain house, right?
Mountain house, gallbladders.
Gold mountain house and gallstones. Yeah.
But we're all pretty fortunate.
Yeah, I know how to drive the laparoscope, but I'm not gonna. It might not be good for me to actually be the surgeon on that.
No, I think we're all in decent physical. I mean, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I want us to really get deep in there. If one thing I got out of Haynes's book was if the deeper you go, you increase the odds go more in your favor. Hey, why not?
Yep. No, I'm pretty confident that we can go deep into the backcountry, and I'm pretty confident we can get an elk out. I'm not too worried about that. I really think, at least a cow elk, we can get it done in one trip. I could be wrong, but I think with 4 people, I really think we can. Now, a bull might be pushing our luck a little bit, but I think we can at least give it a good college try.
Yeah.
So, so then, real quick, what broadheads you guys decide to go with?
I got Montauk, and I got a few Montacs and I don't know the exact.
I'm going to pause this real quick, guys. All right. We're back. Broadheads. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you were
Montauk and Rage. Yeah, I have maybe might update that a little bit. Based on the load I bring in the quiver. I've got just basically a Hoyt quiver to go on there, so about 4 arrows. So I'll probably have 4 broadheads on me.
Doing a Rage hypodermic?
What's that?
Is the Rage hypodermic?
Yes, absolutely.
So I haven't shot. I would say I've shot a few deer. I mean, a fair amount.
Yeah, and you had a good year last year.
Yeah, last year was really good. And I haven't had a Rage fail yet. So I'm gonna everyone's always like they're hung up on shoot 9,000 grain arrow.
Yeah,
and
that's how I
1,500 grain broadhead and shoot a rainbow. But you listen to Dudley, you listen to Haynes, and they're shooting total weights of 500 grain. I'm shooting a 340 grain arrow, 100 grain tip, Rage hypodermic. And that was the big takeaway that really stuck in my head was when Dudley was talking about 90-10. He was talking 90% of the time, you're not going to hit that bone. So, and you're looking back at Rage. I think he shoots Rage, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he's sponsored. By it.
So, and not non-biased. I mean, I kind of see where he was coming from when he was talking about you need to find out you need to find a broadhead that's not too stiff.
Yeah.
The metal can't be too stiff or it breaks off. And it kind of clicked with me because every range I've shot through deer, the blades are bent. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, they're one-time use.
Yeah, they're supposed to bend. You don't want them snapping off, but bending to create all that carnage still going through. Everything I've heard, I'm shooting 65 pounds, 28-inch draw. So I think the range will get her done.
Yeah, no, I just there's so many different like ideologies out there when it comes to like broadhead and arrows. The reason I went to 600 grains is I shoulder bladed a couple deer, and it ticked me off, especially because I shoot in the ridge tripans, and I will say like I'll still shoot them if I go bear hunting, just strictly bear hunting. I'll still shoot them. They leave a big gap, or a big hole in an animal. I really like them, but they were mushrooming if I hit a shoulder blade, and I was absolutely terrified of a arrow for whatever, like say a center punch or rib, and. Do I think a rage will go through a rib? I think so.
I think that's the 10%.
Exactly. I think it'll go through a rib, but I know my 600 grain rib will go, or 600 grain arrow will, and I'm shooting the iron will wide cut. That's what I'm shooting. So, but anyway, I do think with all our setups, I think not a problem. You get a broadside shot, dead elk.
And the thing is also, I'm confident with that.
Yeah.
And I want to stick with
Confidence is key.
Confidence is key. Yeah. I know it can kill things. So I'm going to continue. And the biggest thing is shot placement. We talked about hammering out our shooting. Part goes back into our daily routine of working out.
Yep.
I go work out, I go run, and every day I shoot 50 to 100 arrows every single night. So I know the adrenaline's not there. The elk standing in front of you is not there. The deer's not standing in front of you. But I think from the pressure standpoint and your adrenaline being, I think we'll be able to still capitalize and put a good shot on one. I think a lot of it's shot placement.
Yep.
And Cody, you know this. You go out and do a stress shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And worst comes to worst, work on your breathing. If the elk's not in front of you, do a workout or do a ruck and everything, and go get after the block target or whatever, or the 3D target right after your workout or your ruck, and there's not much more you can do to replicate that experience.
Correct.
At your home.
Correct.
So
another thing I'm excited for this hunt, and because I really liked it, and it like almost gave me goosebumps when I heard it, and I'm really looking forward for you two to hear it, and same thing with Kyle, that first elk bugle. Because when I was in the woods last year and I heard that first legit elk bugle, I'm like, oh, this is why I came out west, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear that. But what do you guys want out of this hunt? Obviously, we all want to kill an animal, and we hope that's the best. But I guess more than that, what are you guys looking forward to out of this?
A vacation.
Understandable.
Sure. And I want to go out west. For years and years and years, I want, one of my bucket list things in life is to visit all the national parks in our country, and part of that is most of the top tier ones are out in the mountains, and now I kind of get a chance to go out there and actually see it and actually be immersed in it. I'm not going to Denver. Yep. To go hang out, I'm going into the backcountry, and then seeing it the way I think it should be experienced.
I think the thing I'm looking for is we set a goal. We work towards that goal. I want to accomplish it. I've been pretty fortunate. So far growing up, usually the things I've set my eyes on, I've gotten. So I think it's more of a personal thing.
Yeah.
And again, looking at it, if we don't get one, we're still having fun hanging out. And we get to experience the view, the park itself, the hiking. So, hey, at the end of the day, we're still working out, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing is it's not hunting. And if you're just going out there, just my only goal is to get out here and score this elk because I spent all this money on hunting gear, you're kind of missing the broader point. Your success is not guaranteed. So that's why the training is important. That's why and every little thing that you do in preparation to this is to put the odds in your favor. You know, and so that's what I'm trying to do, and for years to come, hopefully. I'm really. This is the first year. You know, it may not work out the way we want, but hopefully down the line, you know, I can now that you've experienced that backcountry hunt, now you can do like an after action review and all right, what went right, what went wrong, what can I do better next year?
So one thing that I'm also excited to get you guys, so I've been very, very fortunate. I've went on a lot of hunting trips, and that's mainly from my dad. My dad's taken me on a lot, and now that I'm an adult and got my own career, I've been doing my own as well. But I don't know how many like old hunters I've talked to, like, man, I always wanted to do this, never did. And or even people like middle-aged guys who they're like, man, I would love to do an elk hunt like this, or moose hunt, bear hunt, but I can't afford it. Well, your brand new side-by-side or your brand new truck you get every other year says otherwise. You are choosing to spend that money on something else, which is fine.
Well, and even like the middle-aged guys, my knees can't take it. My back can't take it.
Yeah. Well, it was like, when was the last time you were in a gym? Is up to a lot of those guys.
Right. And like, no, I'm not saying if that's the way you want to hunt and live your life. I mean, it's all about freedom of choice.
Yeah.
But what the problem is the excuses.
Yeah.
They start to pile up, and it becomes like kind of a default. Well, the must be nice crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we've heard Haynes talk about that on Rogan's podcast before, and you know you can do this. If there's a will, there's a way. You know, and so. The one thing I do like is like the spending money on this gear. You can use the gear for other shit, you know. And then next year's hunt, you can camp with your kids.
Well, like Austin said earlier, you can use that jet oil you guys got when you're waterfowl hunting or deer hunting or whatever.
Yeah, all that gear, all that Under Armour gear and shit. You know, I'll take it deer hunting. You know, I mean it's and it's lessons learned. You know, that's the most invaluable thing. You know, money, you know, is it expensive? Shit, yes. It definitely is.
It has not been a cheap year.
Hell no. But, you know.
There for a while, it was like every week you sent me a new picture of something else you bought. I'm like, holy cow, you spending money.
Yeah. I'm trying to now, like I said, thanks to John, I got a good pack, you know, but that'll kind of be the main purchase next year, and so that's kind of saved me a lot in the total cost, and then the tag won't be cheap.
Yeah, the tag's gonna be like whatever.
The gas isn't cheap.
No, dude, the gas sucks right now.
The gas is gonna be a problem, but you know what? You know we planned in advance. You know it can be done, you know? And so
good.
Yeah, and then I spent a lot of this money on like trail running over the last few years, on shoes, on electrolytes, and paying for races and everything like that. Now it's kind of like transitioning over to this, you know, and the little segue into that is like I feel like, granted, you guys I'm a little older, and you guys and I have way more experience than I do with regards to hunting. But I don't regret what I've done over the last, because I've built up over that, you know, it almost feels like it's the perfect time. Like, you know, I got out of I did the military for a few years. And then through college, I stayed in shape, very good shape for years going through undergrad and PA school. There was no chance to hunt, you know, but then I got into the trail running scene around. Started that. I read the book. If any of you guys, the audience has read Born to Run. Basically, it was part of the ultra marathon and trail running craze. Might have started around 2008, 2009 and that book came out. They ran with the Tarahumara Indians in Mexico, the barefoot runners, and. That got me into the trail running scene, and I feel like in that last 10 years, I built up that endurance, and that's going to be to my advantage. And I think that's coming to an end. And my wife is actually going to My wife is going to transition over as to a trail runner, so I'm still going to do that, but it's going to be more her show now. And she wants to. Her goal is to do an ultra marathon, and I'm going to help her get to that as much as I can. And now I'm kind of transitioning into the. Hopefully, we can do this backcountry hunt more than just once.
Oh, I think it'll be more.
I'm going next year.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I
We've
think
been
you guys will be
talking.
hooked.
My wife has been very, very gracious over the last year. Reminds me, that hey, I hope that 2-week vacation is going to work out. So I might be getting going to the Keys here soon, just to let you know.
Yep. No, it'll be. I think you guys will be hooked. I mean, I love it out there, and I love my job. I like being a cop, but if I could just go hunt and go out west and travel, I would do it.
I can see you doing that. Yeah, I can see you doing that.
It's a blast, and and you just meet good people. Like the people I met last time, just a bunch of good people and experiences and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and I'm tired of living vicariously through other people. I hear about it, and I'm like, you got to go out and do it yourself, some way, shape, or form.
So, I don't want to take too much of your time. Again, appreciate you guys coming on and doing this podcast. I know we've talked about doing it for a while now, so it's good to have you guys on. Real quick to end the podcast, do you guys want to each tell a quick hunting story? And whoever wants to go first and...
Well, I got one. I just thought of one with probably the funnest hunt. It has nothing to do with deer. It was a dove hunt.
Oh yeah.
In 2003, Austin knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Out is where Austin lives now on his property. Well, with my dad was still alive, and my Austin's other uncle, Uncle Paul, Uncle Pujols, me and Uncle Pujols, cousin Kenny. I think we had Westerfield out there.
Justin.
Yeah, and Justin was out there.
I think my dad was maybe.
I think I don't know if he was there. Either way, dove hunting is sketchy. You never know what you're going to get on the first day of the season. So we sat out in this kind of was a little basin or a clearing. We have a clearing.
It was a 2-acre sunflower field.
Dad had
I remember.
Dad had hammered that with sunflowers, and we were good to go with that. And so fog rolls in. First day, it was Labor Day actually, I believe, September 1st, and a fog rolls in, and there it would look like Pearl Harbor, as far as so we couldn't shoot enough doves. Yeah, we were bringing down doves left and right. We actually. And we were bringing down doves left and right. We went back out in the afternoon to make sure everybody got there. I don't know what was the limit.
It's 15 apiece. Yeah,
15 apiece. So, it was insane. We had a good hunting dog. She was the best.
Sadie, right?
Going out, then bringing out doves the next day that we couldn't find and lining them up in the front yard is one of the greatest memories I ever had with my dad.
I still have that picture.
He has the picture. Maybe Austin can put it up on the Facebook page or Instagram.
It was pretty.
It was legit. It was one of the fondest memories I have with my dad and with the rest of my family. So good times.
I remember that sunflower field. I remember.
Yeah, never had a dove. We've never had a dove hunt shoot ever like that ever again. The weather was perfect.
Yeah, it was wild.
They just came in because they'd come in out of the fog, and just all of a sudden there would be like a group of 5.
And it wasn't like a hunt where you would have your gun ready. You would see them coming, regardless of whether it was foggy or not that morning. It was a small field.
If anybody in the audience has ever seen like The Mist, like the Stephen King movie, The Mist, like that's what it was like. So it was like an eerie feeling, and then all of a sudden they were like these fast movers would come bursting out of the tree line, pellets flying all over. I can't get to it in time.
I just thought of one, and it brings us back to remember when you got me into bow hunting when we were 5th or 6th grade. So what I say, we need to be in there.
I know exactly. That buck haunts me.
I was like, 2:00. We need to be out there. And like we knew nothing, and like we both did not.
And we were just going to sit against a big oak tree.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna do. So that's what we did the night before. I don't think we've seen anything.
No, I don't think we did.
But I was like, hey, we knew what time it was. I mean, we were in that age where we're like, hey, let's get out there on our own, see what happens. Cody's like, no, they're not going to be moving.
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
too early. We don't want to be out there.
Too early. And this was like what, middle of the rut?
I thought it was late October, so
Maybe,
it was getting there.
Getting close. Well,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, all right, whatever. So we get out there, did our own thing. We got out there at what time?
3, maybe?
3.
3, I think.
And
I
when
think
we
3.
walked to the oak tree, there's a buck standing 20 yards in front of it, in front of where our blind was set up. And what it have?
Drop tide.
Drop time.
Had a big old 8-pointer with a drop tide.
Yeah.
Because my dad had seen him before.
That was.
Yeah, if we're sitting there, who knows if we would have got shot or whatever. But it was just the fact that when we can walk in, there he is, and we were still like 60 yards away or something like that, and we just watched him run in the woods, big old drop tide. And Austin's like, I told you. I'm like, yeah, my bad.
So yeah, that's that kind of.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was when we still lived in Canton. So
That was what, 15, longer than that.
no
maybe.
longer than that. Yeah,
We
yeah, I don't.
were probably 13.
Yeah, something like that. I had recently started bow hunting on my own.
Yeah,
so, but yeah. Well, anyway, thanks guys. That was podcast 16. Appreciate all the support. And we're going to be videotaping this elk hunt, so there'll be hopefully some good content coming from that. Hopefully some kills, but if not, I know we're going to have a good time. It'll be a fun hunt. And
Be nice in your comments. I'm just starting out.
I'm sure there'll be some laughs and some funny stuff happen.
Yeah. That's keep the D-bags to me.
But it should be fun. And thanks again, guys, and appreciate all the support. Peace.